Hey everyone, I just want to make this video to um, explain and clarify backup orders, show how to process a manual order, and show how to apply the pay portal funds to an order. And I'm also going to tell you where to find a tutorial on how to get into your pay portal and adjust some things if you want to transfer funds directly to your account that way. So the first thing you need to do, of course, is go to backoffice.plexusworldwide.com, enter your username and password, and log into your back office. A little bit about backup orders. You are never, ever required to buy any amount of product during any given month as an ambassador. It doesn't matter if you have ambassadors under you or customers, or if you don't and you're just using this for wholesale, you are not required to buy anything at all. But if you would like to receive a check, a paycheck, for any customers or ambassadors you have, there are two things that you need to have, and usually you're going to hit those anyway. One is you must have an auto shipment turned on, and the other is your PV must be at 100 or more. And your personal volume, that's your PV, can be from your own purchases, and I think most of us are on the triplex or are ordering products for our family, and so we're going to hit that $100 on our own. But if we don't, any customers that we have, whether they be preferred customers or retail customers, are going to go towards that PV for the month. Our ambassadors will not be part of our PV. That's a different volume. So when you log in right down here on your dashboard under qualifications, you're going to see a couple of things. You're going to see this button here that says PV. I have over 100 PV already for the month. It's the 14th. And I haven't made my order yet. So that means I had a customer order. So my backup order will not, so all I need, I have a 100 PV, so I've met that requirement. The other requirement is I need to have a backup order. And so that button down here, backup order, it's green. So it shows me that I have a backup order in place. So I will get my paycheck this month from my compensation through Plexus because I have both of those things in place. Now, to talk about backup orders, there are two different ways that you can put your backup orders. So to see your backup orders, you go into shopping, go down here where it says backup orders and click on that. There are two different types of ways that you can have a backup order. That is conditional and unconditional. And depending on how you're running your business and ordering your products, there's different recommendations I have for how to set that up. If you are just a wholesale ambassador and enjoying your products at the cheapest price, I would suggest, and you have a consistent order that maybe you just have the triplex going through, I suggest that you leave your backup order on as unconditional. When you have that backup order on and it's unconditional, it means that your order will ship no matter what your PV is or anything in your business. You will always get that sent through. If you have the triplex, your PV amount is over $100, 101, and or if you order the triplex and some X Factor or anything like that, and it's consistent, you would just set your backup order the way that you want to have it done and set it as unconditional so that it will absolutely ship every single month on the day you wish it to go. If you have a customer or two, or if you're changing your amounts, like your shipment every month, I would just choose a default backup order, like the triplex backup order, if that's most like the one that the products that you order, and set it as conditional. Conditional means this is only going to go through if you do not have that 100 PV for the month. I always have that 100 PV for the month because my order is over 100. But we order something different every month. I adjust it. You know, you might use the amount of BioCleanse that you need to use, or maybe you don't, so you don't have to order a BioCleanse every other month. We also get shakes, and I get chewables for Grace, and sometimes we get Ease Cream, and different, you know, Omega, and then we get X Factor. So ours is changing constantly. So this does not help me. Plus, I always have that 100 PD. So I don't want my backup orders shipped, but I do need it on so that I get my paycheck. So I set it for the very last day of the month that I can, on the 28th, and I set it as conditional. Now, you can edit your backup order. You can adjust that if you want to change back and forth from conditional to unconditional if you'd like. It's always going to ask you to agree to our return policy before you go on. You can adjust that up here. So my backup order says conditional, big red letters at the top. I can click edit, and it's going to tell me, it's going to define conditional and unconditional for me. And I can change it to unconditional if I'd like it to ship every month without fail. But I want to keep it as conditional. Also, make sure that right here in your payment information that there's nothing red that says you have to put a code in. And that way you know that all of your information is there. It's always going to go through. You can change the scheduled date right here. If you want to click edit, you can change it earlier in the month. But I want to keep it, and it says, are you sure that you want it on that date? Now, if you make any changes, it's really, really important. Even though you say okay and accept the changes, over here in the bottom right-hand corner, it says update backup order. You must click that every single time. And I think if you make a change now and you try to get out of it, it asks you, would you like to save that backup order? And so that's an extra thing that's been added on, which is great. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard. There, if you are interested in more information about adjusting and adding to your backup order, if you go into the Tools tab under Library, there will be lots and lots of training information. So always go here if you're missing some information, you don't know what's going on. But right here it says Backup Order Management, how to manage your backup order. And it's going to give you some steps in document form on how to edit or delete or adjust your backup order. So that's always going to be there for you if this video doesn't hit on some of your questions, or you can ask me directly. Now, because I have my backup order set to conditional, it's never going to go out unless something very strange happens with my business or I forget to place an order. So what I do is I place just a manual order every month, and that might work out for a lot of you if you're making some changes that way. So I click up here on Shopping tab, and if you just want to shop, you can just click the Shopping tab, or you can click Shopping Cart or Shopping. Anything like that's going to bring you to our product line. And all of our tabs along the top to find those, okay? So when you go in here, you're going to just make your order. So we need 2 triplexes today. We need, sorry to kind of stick with me while we're doing this, we need 2 X Factors. We need an extra probio because we're going to up our probio a little bit this month. And then we also, I'm going to get some shakes. I think that's under weight management here. Yeah, I'm also going to get some shakes. Ben likes the vanilla, so I'm going to add the vanilla to cart. So I just added all of my different things I need. That's all we need for this month. We've got everything else rolling pretty well. We're good on edge. So I'm going to click my cart button up here. It'll take me to the cart. So here's my information. Well, I was going to show you how to apply pay portal funds, but I am not seeing. Okay, here we go. So did you see over to the right-hand side, I clicked to show my total. I always want to see my order summary because I like to see what my shipping amount is going to be, my tax, and what my actual full total is going to be. So always click that over on the side so you can see that, and it gives you some different options now. One thing, all the things you want to check, you want to make sure that your ship to address is correct, always, because sometimes it gets a little goofy. You are also have some options for this. Do you see up here where it says Plexus Pay Portal Balance? I have $195.88 in my Plexus Pay Portal Balance right now for this order. And so I want to apply that entire amount because my order is well over that amount. So what I do is I'm going to click right here for Use Plexus Pay Portal Funds, and I'm going to enter the amount that I want to use, and then I actually click Enter Amount. And what that should do is it should show up over here on the right-hand side in your order summary that you're using $195.88. So that's my Plexus portal amount. This is where your customer, if you created an incentive code, would enter the incentive code here as well, or if there's something going on. If there's a promotion for the entire company, they would put it in this little box here for if you're giving directions later. See how I have a red enter verification code? Anytime you're doing a manual order, you have to put in your verification code on the card that you're using. I have a default card set as well. And if you have multiple cards or want to add multiple cards, you can do it here. You can edit your payment, type and add it there, or you can go to account services, and in the center, there's manage cards, and that'll pull it up where you can adjust to which card you want as the default. If you don't want this one, this is my Discover, and I do want that. And so I'm going to enter my verification code and click Save. And now that red should go away. I'm going to click View Totals again over here because I want everything to make sure everything is okay and it applies properly. So I have the $195.88. I have $167.76 that's due, and the rest is going to go on that payment. So everything looks good to me. I'm going to click Checkout, and then I've got a secondary screen here where I'm going to check again. I'm going to check and make sure that all this information is good, that the items that I want, my Triflex, my X Factor, my Probio, and my Plexus 96 is all going to be here as well. And I'm also going to look over here and make sure that my Plexus Pay Portal amount is coming through before I click to process my order now. So when I click Process Order Now, what should happen, and I've had a couple of you who've been having some issues, so I'm crossing my fingers that this should give me a receipt that shows that my Pay Portal funds came out. And wouldn't you know it, oh no, this is okay. This is working. Okay, over on the right-hand side here, on the left-hand side here, you're going to see your whole subtotal, and it looks like it's like the payments received is this total amount, $363.64. But if you look in this internet order box right here, it shows payments received. I've got a credit card for this amount. I've got my Hyper Wallet SB, which is my Pay Portal funds, for $195.88 for a total of $363.64. So I should be good. And if I ever need to look at, or you need to look at that, you go to Shopping, Order and Package Tracking, and that's where you can go in, and once everything's put together, you'll have a package tracking number. These are all of my orders back for the year. I'm coming up on my Plexiversary for 1 year here this month. So here is my order right here. There's no package tracking yet because it's not processed yet, but I can click on my invoice to the left to get information. So if something were to happen, like say my Pay Portal funds didn't apply, I could go in and say, hey, this is the order, and call customer service and see what's going on. Now, there's one other thing I wanted to show you, is that if something funky happens here and you're wanting to pull those funds from your Pay Portal, or if you just want to set it up that your funds automatically go into your account, if you go under training and you click the training tab, there are lots of different training things that you can do. I've watched all these, they're check marks here, and that's why I'm at 100% of my training modules completed. But see how there's a Plexus Pay Portal? You can view the portal overview, you can do the Getting Started guide, and you can look at the how-to guide, and you can set up your funds to automatically go to your checking account each month or onto a card. You can go in and manually do that and say a certain amount that you want to be moved over to your card. So if you order and something happens and it does not apply, that's probably the quickest way to solve your problem. Rather than dealing with customer service, I would suggest that you go into your Pay Portal. You can get there by going to Account Services and clicking on Plexus Pay Portal. You do have a separate login, and if you haven't set that up, it's a good idea to do that, and you can see how to by looking at these. I'm not going to go into that, but you can see how to by looking at this training right here. And you can just move that stuff over, and I think it takes a day or two to get into your account, but at least you'll have those funds to make up for the part that you spent if something goes wrong, or if that's just the way that you'd like to get paid. You can also elect to have an actual physical card through Plexus, that it will load your Plexus card, and you can use that for shopping if you just want it on a card on its own, and you could enter that in as a payment if you'd like. But the way that I showed you is the most efficient way to do it. So hopefully I did some clarifying for you on what a backup order is, why we have to have it to get paid, why you want it to be on, because you're probably spending over that 100 PV, so you want at least 15% kickback for yourself, or maybe you're building a team and you want your commissions to come through and get paid for that so that it rolls over and you can just kind of continue to have it sitting in your pay portal so you can apply it in that way.